Do you think that Kanye West is going to make a huge comeback with the release of Donda in 2021?
I don't know if it's gonna come out, but if he does put it out, it depends, because what are we saying about Jesus is King? I feel as if it was a good produced album. There was a lot of quality to it. It was definitely not what we expected from Kanye West, but we all knew what type of direction he was going with his career. But yes, I do think he will bounce back, just because, you know, he'll give something that is more, I feel as if, accepting within his fan base, and that could speak to more of his fan base. And guys, let us know in the comments section, how did you feel about Jesus is King in that whole run? And don't forget to subscribe and do that good stuff.
So speaking on Jesus is King, I feel like it was a good album overall. It's just that in the whole scope of Kanye's discography, it's probably his weakest. But at the same time,
his weakest, like,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, but the only thing is that, like, given the fact that he was, you know, on the gospel vibe and that he was not swearing at all, what he was able to do was really impressive. And, you know, my favorite parts of the album, to be totally honest with you, you know, this time around weren't Kanye's actual, you know, rapping performances, but it was actually all the other elements. So from the choirs to the crazy samples to the features from, like, that Clips reunion.
Yeah, the producing was fucking incredible. It felt like a whole cinematic experience, and going through the album really put you into a different vibe. And I remember listening to it, and, you know, for a good amount of time, like, I really enjoyed Jesus is King, but it was just like, I'm not a big gospel listener.
Yeah,
it's not my taste. So it definitely.
You can't forget about Kenny G on that sax though.
I mean,
on Use This Gospel, that was fire, man.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Clips made a return. Like, it was a really well put together
and it
project.
was also like a smooth listen. I think it was like 27 minutes long or something.
It's a really good listen in the car, especially if you have good speakers in your car. You'll enjoy it.
In terms of Donda, I mean, we got word that he is still working on it. But, you know, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see after, you know, all these personal troubles that he's going through kind of blow over. But, you know, do you think that this could be a return to form, let's say?
Based on his last project, I don't think he ever left form.
Okay,
I think
that's fair. Yeah,
I don't think he ever left form. I mean, Kanye is Kanye, and regardless of what he puts out, it's going to be better than what the rest of the industry is putting out, in my opinion. Facts. Especially when it comes to, you know, the cinematic of a project and the producing and everything else that comes with it. But as far as Kanye bouncing back to an old aesthetic, I mean, what are we really constituting as an old aesthetic? Because, you know, I go back to his last albums. Let's say we take The Life of Pablo and Yeezus, right? Two completely different albums, two completely different sounds,
like every Kanye album,
and two different approaches, right? So, like, we could speculate all we want, but I mean, from what I heard on the leaked version, and I think it was actually it was Fajeh who sent me this. It was an Audio Mac file of the original version of Jesus is King. No, of Donda.
Was it
good? It was fantastic. Yeah, okay. It was really, 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 really well put together. It had an A$AP Rocky feature, and it was different because Kanye was doing flows and Kanye was rapping, but I mean, it was different because, how could I say it? It was just, there was no really explicit rapping in it, but it was rapping, and there was everything else with it. So it was really cool to see.
I don't see him going back to that secular type of music.
You don't think so?
No, I think Jesus is King kind of just confirmed that he's done with that chapter in his life. And I don't mind, just because, you know, we heard snippets, like I think it was called Believe What I Say, with that crazy Lauryn Hill sample, where Kanye was kind of on a boat and there was a sunset, and, you know, his rapping was super smooth. So in terms of Donda, I feel like, you know, it might truly be his most personal body of work yet. Of course, you know, the title refers to his late mother. So, you know, maybe it'll be you know, something where he focuses on, you know, family and just, you know, where he's at in life. Just because with Jesus is King and with Ye, you know, his two last releases, they were, you know, focusing on where he's at, what's his current mind state. So I feel like he might continue that theme, but deliver it in a totally different packaging and different aesthetic.
So speaking on that aesthetic, what do you think he would go with, just based on productions and maybe even features? Throw that in there.
I think definitely, you know, some classic soul samples. So he might, you know, fuse that back in like he did at the start of his career. In terms of features, I don't know, man. I don't know where he's going to go.
It's a hard pick. Listen, most Kanye projects have features. I mean, it's something we know. Well, every single
Kanye project
has multiple features for that. But I mean, like, where does he really go? Because I mean, you know, Jesus is King was hard to fit features on that track list, and he was able to pull it off. Like, that was a tough track list.
Yeah, he had quite a few there.
It was a tough track list to pull it off, and he low-key did. Like, there was not a bad feature on that album. So I think he carries that same energy into this. I think it's going to be super cinematic. It's just like,
I just don't want him.
I
just don't want him to rush it. Like, I want the fans to be patient for it, just because, like, I'm always down for new Kanye music, but I want him to be in the headspace to, you know, be at his best creatively at the end of the day. So
hypothetically speaking, if let's say Donda was his last album and his bow out, do you think it's a good time for Kanye to leave?
I definitely think so, just because like he can kind of go into that role of being, you know, just that crazy producer who makes collab albums with artists like Pusha T, for example, and, you know, just focus on, you know, maybe building good music to a different level. And he's given us so much. He has arguably the best discography of all time. So
his discography is fucking stacked.
if Donda is, you know, on the level of some of his best, then I think it'd be a perfect time for him to call it.
Call it a day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, I think that's what we're gonna do with this video, guys. So hit the subscribe button, and remember, leave it down in the comment section.
And
You know,
we're keeping you updated with everything
Yeah.
Kanye West, guys. So join the community. It's always great to talk Kanye at the end of the day.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching the episode. Listen, we got a lot of stuff going on here at NFR. You guys could join our community by joining our Discord chat. It's absolutely popping. The link is going to be in the bio, guys. And listen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification tabs. We're doing daily content here at NFR Podcast. Thank you guys for sticking in, and I'll see you on the next one.